Because you people should allow Peter Obi to breed. I don't know why every politician is after him. I don't know why. Akpabio was mentioning, oh, he sent people to Mecca. That is an achievement. You can see what we are talking about. When I tell you that these guys that is running Nigeria, they don't know what development means, you think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Somebody is saying that he sent people to Mecca, spend billions to send people to go to Mecca to pray, to go to Jerusalem. That is an achievement. That's ridiculous. How is it an achievement? It's not, it's a waste. If you are telling me that you use that money and invested it in education, grant scholarship, people have access, you build schools, train teachers, and the quality of education in Akwa Ibom improved, that Akwa Ibom became #1 in Nigeria, that in JAMB they clear their destiny, in WAEC they clear their destiny, I will be clapping for you, because it is human capital development you are doing for the future. And you are telling us that you use that money you used to send them to Mecca to buy computers, and that at secondary school, the Akwa Ibom students are now doing coding, doing cyber security at secondary school. I would have been clapping for you. But to come and be talking about you send people to Mecca, send people to Jerusalem is an achievement. You build government towns where you are living for yourself. How is it translating to the people? How much are you receiving as state governor that time? How much is Peter Obi receiving from federal allocation? You collect federal allocation. You collect 13% derivation. Plus your IGR. Peter Obi only collects federal allocation and their IGR. So you have 3 sources of income for the state. Peter Obi has 2. And still, he took Anambra from number 24 in education to #1. Go and study how he did it. Not coming here to be doing wrong comparison. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Andy Media TV. A few days ago, Peter Obi was at the lecture organized for Pa Edwin Clark, who passed away a few months ago. And in that folder, I thought he sees it as an opportunity to address this issue of Demarketing Nigeria. And at that point, he said clearly that he was not Demarketing Nigeria. He's only saying the truth of the reality of Nigeria, of what is going on in Nigeria and what is happening. So in that few minutes he had to eulogize Pa Edwin Clark, he preferred to use it to address critical issues that is hanging on his name. And it was clear, and he made a statement that during Jonathan's administration, right, in 2012, Jonathan removed fuel subsidy and moved fuel price from 87 Naira to 120 Naira. And Nigerians protested. Notable Nigerians protested. In fact, if you go and check the archives, you will see the former governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, was there, Dino Melaya was there, E.A. Adeboye, the pastor of RCCG, they were there, Tunde Bakare was there, Professor Wole Soyinka was there. A whole lot of notable Nigerians were there in that protest, protesting that fuel increased from 87 Naira to 120. And Peter Obi asked, today, the same fuel has increased from 45 Naira to 900 Naira. Nobody protested. He said, where are those protesters? Are they dead? That was the question I was asking. So this shows you the double standard that operates in Nigeria. Because it was Jonathan from the South, everybody came out. And then he asked again that dollar at that time was 180 Naira. And people were protesting. And today, dollar is 1,500 to 1,600. In fact, there was a point, it was 1,700 Naira per dollar. He said nobody protested. Are those protesters dead? Those people that anchored those protests that time, are they dead? So the issue remains that Nigeria is not united. That is one major problem. They are not united. And these guys in the political arena are seizing that opportunity to divide them more, because that's the way they can win and that's the way they can retain power. For today, the only people that protest today are the poor, and that is why once they come out, they tear gas them, arrest them, incessantly, and then put them in detention. Because all these top government known faces, they no more come out for protest. Because if they are there, police will not react the way they react to common Nigerians. So you can see misplaced priority. Look at the difference in the price of this petroleum product. But don't forget that when Jonathan removed this fuel subsidy, he created a safety net program called SureP, right? Subsidy Removal and Empowerment Program. He created that program, channeled the part of those savings from the subsidy to those programs. That program has different branches. There's community service where people come out, do some work within their local communities, they get paid, right? There is a maternal and child health program there, where they renovated primary health care centers across the country. I think about 1,200 was renovated within that period before Jonathan lost the 2015 election and left, and the program ended. So at that time, there was job creation. The midwives were recruited, trained, and deployed to all these PHCs, to reduce maternal and child health and things like that. So there are a lot of, parts of those programs that money was poured into. and it helped to cushion the impact. Today, Tinubu removed the same subsidy. Where are we? What safety net program did he put in place? Nothing. And the same Tinubu, at that time in 2012, was attacking Jonathan that he has failed Nigerians. He has betrayed the contract he has in Nigeria. Google, you will see what I'm saying to you today. He backlashed Jonathan and said that if he removes subsidy, that he must channel that program to other programs that will help Nigeria. The same Tinubu who said this, remove subsidy and did not create any safety net program. And that is why the economy became suffocated and things became tough and difficult for people. Many companies exited Nigerians because they cannot survive. Don't forget, Jonathan only removed subsidy on petroleum products. But Tinubu removed subsidy on petroleum product, on foreign exchange, on electricity at the same time, and devalued the Naira and floated the Naira. All these things happened simultaneously. So the heat became too much for Nigerians to bear. But during Jonathan's time, he only removed subsidy on petroleum product. That's subsidy on forest is still there, subsidy on electricity is still there, and they were meeting their need. And the economy was growing, GDP was high, unemployment was not what it is today, and inflation was not what it is today. They were even containing inflation under 1 digit at that time. So, but look at where we are today. The same man who was criticizing Jonathan for doing that did the thing and did it poorly and wrongly. So, it's easy to speak when you are from the outside than when you are inside. That is the situation of Nigeria. Anyway, guys, before I play you the video of what Mr. Peter Obi said, please, if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to put on your notification bell so that when my next video drops, you'll be among those to be notified. Like and share this video, and whatever is your view, put it in the comment section as well. All right, having said that, let's listen to what Peter Obi said in that video, and we'll come back. And then there's a second part of the video I will play, the response from Senator Godswill, the Senate President of Nigeria, and then I will put everything together and then conclude this video. Let's listen to Mr. Peter Obi. We'll be right back.
I listened to my brother Mike when he talked about, may the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. I'm sorry, I'm happy that Jericho 1 is here, and I'm happy that Jonathan is here. But I can tell you, their sacrifice is in vain. They've sacrificed for nothing. When this country, when people were protesting, when there was no need to protest under Jonathan. Where are those protesters? Have they died? Where are they? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? Jonathan increased fuel from 87 Naira to 120 and people were protesting in this country. And when it was 900, they were not protesting. Are they dead? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? People protested when Naira was 180 and when it was 1,005, they're not protesting. Are they dead? So let's not say it should not be in vain. I spoke a few days ago and people said Undemocratic Nigeria. When it stood being demarketed, one bank has just shown that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas are poor. It's one bank Demarketing Nigeria. UNICEF 2 days ago released that Nigeria now have over 2 million malnourished children, the second highest in the world. Are they Demarketing Nigeria? Let's face the reality. Their labor is in vain. We have a country now that is not democratic. We are not a democratic country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Is the election that happened in Edo, is it democratic? Just the last election in Edo is the most undemocratic election. Everybody knows who won that election. So why are we keeping it and saying, let their work not in vain? It is in vain. So we can start picking the pieces now, because they've destroyed everything people have sacrificed for. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Above all, Jericho 1 sacrificed everything. The country people sacrifice has turned into a crime scene. All we do today is stealing. And we have to do something.
All right, welcome back. You've heard Peter Obi, right? He also said clearly in that video that I am not demarketing Nigeria. I'm only saying the truth of the reality of Nigeria. And he came into the issue of the election in Edo State. You had him asking, the election in Edo State, is it fair? Everybody knows who won the election. But is it the winner that is there today? No, it's not. That's exactly what happened during the presidential election. They glitched the system, switched off the system so that people can see the result coming in. And they cooked the result at the end and came out and announced this man winner, the incumbent president winner by 4 a.m. when people are sleeping. So when you look at that, Dino Melaya contested and they said they will bundle him out of the place. that Nigeria is faking democracy. Nigeria is not a democratic country. That is because people cannot protest peacefully. That is the right you have when there's a democratic nation. In America today, there were about 1 million people who protested against incumbent President Trump in terms of his policies, right? On tariff and, shutting down, you said, and cutting waste and firing some government workers and things like that. They protested, over 1 million people across the 50 states. There was no one of the states we had that police fired tear gas or molested people or arrested people. It is their right. Police will be with them to guide them, to ensure that there's no chaos and things like that. But in Nigeria, it's a different ballgame altogether. Once people come out to protest, they tear. So will you call that one democracy? Where is the human right? That is the major reason why people want democracy than a military regime, is because of human right protection. You have right to speech, you have right of association, you have right of movement, you have right of worship, and so on and so forth. That is the major reason people chose democracy than military regime. So if the democratic government is now behaving like the military government, why do we now retain democracy? Because people can come out during election day, vote for somebody they want, and that result won't count. They go and sit down and write the name of a man who cannot mention the figures in his budget. That is what we have in Edo State. So again, he has said it that Nigeria is not a democratic nation. Because how do you know a democratic nation? By the way they do, the way they behave, the way the leaders behave. In Nigeria today, if you are highly connected and you know somebody in power, you can commit any crime and go scot-free. But if you are nobody in Nigeria, you don't need to commit crime. They tag you something and pick you up. Poor man spray money, they arrest the poor man. Big man spray money, they won't arrest the big man, even his children. Is that a democratic nation? So it's a nation where the laws are implemented in two different ways. There's a way they implement it for the poor, there's a way they implement it for the rich. So that is where we are. Now, in that same video, he has cleared the air, but he doesn't demarcate Nigeria. He's only saying the truth and the reality of the situation in Nigeria. And that is what it is. So go and watch Nigerian television. What are they saying? Before, the media are those that hold government accountable, because they report the truth of what happens. Where government misfire, they hold them accountable. But today, the media speaks only what government wants them to say. Globally, even in America, it's the same thing. They carry just propaganda. That is not truth. And they push this narrative to the people, and those who believe the media buy them, and then they hate their government, which is even fighting for them. That is the situation of the world today. So he who controls information controls the people. That is what it is. So that is why many of them don't like X, former Twitter, because it is free speech platform. So any news you want to know, go to X. All this media, mainstream media, forget it. They are not telling you the truth. So don't depend on them for your information. Do your research, and then you will know what the truth is. That's what it is. Now, I don't know why many people, especially politicians, hate Peter Obi. They preach different narratives about this man. And I will tell you that most of these guys, they don't know him. They have not been in Anambra State. They didn't know him when he was a governor and what he did. So when you see people talk most of the times, I feel that they are talking based on ignorance, because they don't understand who the man is, what he does. So Peter Obi is a special breed of politician who is not corrupt like other politicians. He's not a saint, but he's not as bad as these other politicians who can steal and steal even their own children in government. He's not as bad as them. He has conscience. He can't get involved in things that will smear his name, or things that, that he doesn't believe is right. That's the kind of person he is, and that's why they don't like him. When you come to government, I recall one man who was always, going on trips. When he comes back, he retire. You see, and return balance from the money, DTA that was given to him, will return balance of the money that he didn't spend all. He was able to cut waste, and then this is the balance. He will submit the money back. Other people hated him for doing that, because other people will go the same trip and ask for more. What did they do? They silenced the man. They cut him off from all trips. He doesn't go to trips anymore. He was wondering why. He didn't know that to them, he's exposing them that the money they are getting to go for that trip is far more than they needed, so that it's exposing them from coming back to retire the balance. And that's how they say. So when you are a good person in government, they will deal with you. That is the honest truth. Government is run by evil cabals. You don't care. They don't care. How can one man in the NNPC steal 80 billion and live in his account? One man, just one person. Imagine when you begin to check the accounts of all those MDs, both served and retired. Go and check. Properties, go and check. These are monies they're supposed to use to repair refinery. that will produce oil for people to have access to petroleum products. So this is what you see. And what happens next? Nothing. They do play bargain. You steal 10 billion, you return 4 billion, you take 6 billion, settle the people at the top. You are good. At least you will have at least 4 billion left for you at the end of the day. That's the business. So why won't people continue? Change the law. Put it death penalty for anybody found in corruption. You will see how people will run because nobody wants to die. Anyway, let me go back to the Peter Obi issue. After Peter Obi spoke in that Edwin Clark forum, what happened next? The Senate President, Senator Godswill, started responding to Peter Obi. His name was not mentioned. Peter Obi didn't mention any name. He was just speaking, and somebody somewhere felt that is the mouthpiece of Edwin Clark who will speak, and somebody felt that is the one who can respond to him. And listen, you will see what he said. I will come back and then tie the knot together. Now, listen to Godswill Ababi.
When somebody makes a statement that the labors of our heroes pass, I invent. I beg to disagree. Let our brother Peter Obi show leadership like Edwin Clark did by resolving first the crisis in the Labour Party. For a man who wants to run Nigeria, you have one of the smallest parties in Nigeria, and you cannot even resolve the crisis in that Labour Party. Is it the crisis of Boko Haram that you will come and resolve in Nigeria? I would like us to be known for what we did when we had the opportunities. As I speak now, I can tell you about the dualized thoroughfares in my state. I can tell about the flyovers in my state. I can tell about the best international hospital in my state. I can tell about the monuments of government houses that are built, both for the governor and deputy. I'm one of the best digitalized governor's office in Nigeria. I can tell you about the best international stadium in West Africa. I can tell you about the free and compulsory education that I did for all Nigerians. I can tell you about the unity I brought in religion by sponsoring over 5,800 Muslims to the Holy Land and over 12 to 15,000 Christians to Rome and to Jerusalem. But then, those who are aspiring as presidential candidates and trying to cause division with their mouths, using the social media, tell them to resolve the small crisis in the smallest party they have in Nigeria first, before they come to talk about the larger Nigeria. But for the social media, it is unregulated. I wish you luck as we have a field day. I'm saying this because this is what Pa Edwin Clark would have advised if he were alive. So I've started to speak his voice.
All right. So you've heard what Godswill Ababi has said. All right. So now, when you look at what he said that Peter Obi cannot resolve the crisis in the Labour Party, and they want to come and lead Nigeria. That is pure gaslighting, So let's put this thing into clear perspective. All right. Peter Obi is just a member of the Labour Party. He's not part of the ESCO. All right? He's not part of the executives who run the party. He's not the party chairman. He's not the party secretary or whatever. So he has no position in the party. So by virtue of his being their presidential candidate in 2023, he's seen as their leader. A leader that doesn't have power to act. You can only give counsel at his position. So we call it moral suasion. You only bring the two parties who are warring in the party and advise them the best path to go for the interest of the party. That's his own job. What those two groups does is their own business. He cannot enforce his will on the party because Peter Obi is not that kind of person. Peter Obi is not a bully. Peter Obi is not a criminal. Peter Obi is not a man who must have his way. He's not that kind of person. Now, looking at the Senate President, the kind thing he was saying, let's bring it to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, all right? Let's look at him. In Lagos State, there was crisis in the House of Assembly, right? The former speaker, who has been brought back now, Mudashiru Obasa, was impeached by his colleagues, and Mojisola Miranda was installed as the new speaker, which is the democratic right of the members of the House of Assembly to do so. And they did it the way the law prescribed, right? They put out their reason for impeaching him, they followed the pattern, and they impeached him. And the woman was there. When President Tinubu came back, what happened? He told them that the woman should vacate the seat, that the man who was impeached should return back to his position. Is that democracy? That's not democracy. He was infringing in the rights of the House of Assembly members, in the legislators. And don't forget, there is separation of power. They can do whatever they want to do in their own arm of government. The executive has no power to come and tell them what to do. You can cancel them, but you can't force them to do anything. And this guy said, no, it is the woman that we want. She is there. And that's what it is. What happened next? DSS, they brought in DSS to come and lay siege in the house and did a lot of stuff. DSS came, denied and said it was not them. But the people who were there, the members know DSS and they know police and they know. So, there was a lot of confusion. But at the end of the day, what happened was that President Tinubu asked the woman to resign. And the same Modesolo Abasa who was removed was installed back as the speaker. And he's there. Don't forget, even when he was impeached, he was given security to enter the legislative house and do whatever he did there and all that. They were backing him, covering him, doing everything, supporting him. Somebody who was impeached. Now, that's the kind of thing they want Peter Obi to go and do in Labour Party. To forcefully remove Abure or Papa or whoever they are and put who he wants to be there. Peter Obi doesn't behave like that. He's not a Jaguda. Peter Obi is a Christian man who has conscience, who has empathy, who believes in doing what is right. Remember, he said, if you want to be His Excellency, the process that brought you to that position must be excellent. That is his kind of person. And record, that is one thing Kenneth Okonkwo then, who was the spokesperson as during the presidential election, came out to say that Peter Obi can't defend his vote. How will he defend his vote? By pushing people to go and protest so that police will kill them? Or by doing what exactly? So Peter Obi believes in rule of law. In Anambra State, he was impeached twice, and the court brought him back without raising any eyebrow. So that's the kind of person. So you follow people based on who they are. You don't want to instill what is not the person's behavior in them. So coming to tell him that if he cannot resolve his party differences, is it Nigeria he can run? Okay, back to Nigeria now. If Peter Obi is the president of Nigeria, he becomes the commander-in-chief, which means he can direct police, he can direct army, he can direct any security architecture. They are under his control. Right? But Labour Party is not under his control. He cannot direct anybody. He can't control anybody. He can only talk to people and cancel them. Right? So you see the difference. So he doesn't have that prerogative of power to come and dictate what happens in Labour Party. Not that if he want to do it, he cannot do it. He can't. But that's not his nature. That's not his lifestyle. When he was in Anambra, Anambra was declared one of the peaceful state. He won an award by the IG of police then. He was given an award. Anambra is, one of the peaceful states. And it shows how they did security. He partnered with Enugu and Imo, who are the neighboring towns. So that these criminals come from outside, they operate, they leave. So they checkmated them at all the boundaries. And that's how they nab all of them and dealt with them. So he won the award. When he was governor, he took Anambra from 24th to number 1 in education. You can see the jump. Within 8 years, he was there. Anambra remained the number 1 until he left. Then this bourgeois who came in after he left began to destroy the state. When you come to internal road networks in Anambra State, Peter Obi was number 1. He connected communities with clean roads, marked with double drainage. Peter Obi, the health sector, the education sector, he said building new schools is not priority. The ones we have, no roof on them. He started renovating all the schools. He bought school buses for all of them. All the schools have school buses. All of the schools has internet and computers. In secondary schools, I'm talking about secondary schools now. Now, is it the health sector? You make sure Anambra had accreditation in midwifery, in nursing, in education, in a university, and the rest of them. So his records are there, but people are just too ignorant to go and are too lazy to go and research and know what's up. Most of them have not even been in Anambra. I've never heard that someone who went to Anambra State. I've never heard that Akpabio was in Anambra State at that time that Peter Obi was governor. So when you look at all these things, and he was there sitting down talking about stadium, they said, look at the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. It is the business of the governor that, the last time president came to Anambra was in 2012 when he came to commission brewery. I don't understand. What is that for? That's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Obasanjo came, during Peter Obi's term. He came to Anambra there, right? Then I think President Jonathan also, visited. So the issue is that what is the meaning of that the commission brewery and the other private? So Peter Obi didn't do anything. That's ridiculous. Professor Chukwuma Soludo, I don't care who you support for presidential ambition. I don't care. You can support anybody, it's your right. But gaslighting your brother because you are looking for something at the center, that's ridiculous. All right? You can go to and live with Tinubu, that's your problem. But you people should allow Peter Obi to breathe. I don't know why every politician is after him. I don't know why. Akpabio was mentioning, he sent people to Mecca. That is an achievement. You can see what we are talking about. When I tell you that these guys that is running Nigeria, they don't know what development means, you think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Somebody is saying that he sent people to Mecca, spend billions to send people to go to Mecca to pray, to go to Jerusalem. That is an achievement. That's ridiculous. How is it an achievement? It's not, it's a waste. It's a waste. If you're telling me that you use that money and invested it in education, grant scholarship, people have access, you build schools, train teachers, and the quality of education in Akwa Ibom improved, that Akwa Ibom became #1 in Nigeria, that in JAMB they clear their destiny, in WAEC they clear their destiny, I will be clapping for you, because it is human capital development you are doing for the future. And you are telling us that you use that money you used to send them to Mecca to buy computers, and that at secondary school, the Akwa Ibom students are now doing coding, doing cyber security at secondary school. I would have been clapping for you. But to come and be talking about you send people to Mecca, send people to Jerusalem is an achievement. You build government towns where you are living for yourself. How is it translating to the people? Apart from the flyover, yes, I know you built roads. I was in Akwa Ibom during your tenure. So, what are you talking about? And you are comparing yourself with Peter Obi. Please, how much are you receiving as state governor that time? How much is Peter Obi receiving from federal allocation? You collect federal allocation. You collect 13% derivation. Plus your IGR. Peter Obi only collects federal allocation and their IGR. So you have 3 sources of income for the state. Peter Obi has 2. And still, he took Anambra from number 24 in education to #1. Go and study how he did it. Not coming here to be doing wrong comparison. You can't be comparing yourself. Just like Babajide Sanwo-Olu in Lagos is comparing himself with Anambra. Do you know how much Lagos generates as IGR? You know how many billion? How much is Anambra, raising in allocation? How big is Anambra? So all the businesses of Nigeria is in Lagos, because Lagos was the former capital of Nigeria. So everything is there. All the banks are in Lagos. That's where the headquarters is. And they pay tax from there. Is it MTN? Is it Globalcom? Is it Etisalat? All the big businesses are domiciled in Lagos. If you want to do comparison, you do proper comparison by income. How much do you get federal allocation? How much do you get as IGR? Then those that receive derivation, 13% derivation, put all the money out. How much? Right? Then I number how much. Then we see the amount you people are receiving. That's what we now use to measure what you did, to see if it's commensurate to the money you are receiving. So it's a wrong comparison, my dear Mr. Senate President. It's a bad comparison. And what you said, Edwin Clark will not say it. Edwin Clark will rather say what Peter Obi said than what you said. That is the truth. I know Edwin Clark. He has been holding government accountable. He has been speaking truth to power, right from Buhari till now, before he even died. That's who he is. So you can't come and be gaslighting people and be talking what does not exist. So what Senate President was saying is just painting lies as truth. That's what it is. So you don't bring in Labour Party itself. The Labour Party, they have already resolved the problem. Supreme Court has given judgment that Abure is no more the chairman. What is holding them is INEC. For INEC to update their website and remove his name. That's all. They have already created, because the Supreme Court said they should go and resolve their party crisis internally, which they have done by creating the caretaker committee to take charge and prepare for their convention, since court has invalidated Abure's chairmanship. So the caretaker committee is already there. They have drawn their schedule on how to do their ward, local government, state congresses to national congress. And they have gone to INEC to present the judgment, the CTC, the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment, and telling them that this guy is no more their chairman based on court ruling. So what else do you want them to do? When you guys are sponsoring all this destruction of other parties from behind, because you people want one party state to control everywhere, that's what you people want. But it's not going to work for you guys. Don't worry. When election is coming close, the crisis you people will go through, you will understand what it is. So you don't come to gaslight somebody because he aired his view, he aired his opinion. Yes, you too, you have right to say what you want to say, but don't mislead people, because by virtue of your position, there are people who believed in you, there are people who believe in what you say. So stop gaslighting people and speaking things that are not true. So give him power, right? And see what he does. He was governor. Did you hear any story for his 8 years about godfatherism and all those things? No. He did his job. He skipped them out of the system and stopped them from coming to government house. Go and listen to what he said during the covenant something Pastor Poju does. He said everything, how he governed Anambra, and how he saved money and was able to do the projects he did, and even save money for the state, which Governor Obi came and squandered in the name of building an airport and whatever. So what are we saying? So you guys should allow the man to breathe. He's doing his own work. His own style will not be your style. Your style will not be his style. That is what it is. So everybody should maintain their lane. So all this, once Peter Obi speak, everybody will want to jump into what he said to see how to attack him. All those things are necessary. Focus on your distance. Start doing amendment in the electoral law. That's what you should be doing, not discussing Peter Obi in the chambers. Peter Obi is not a topic. It's not a bill. Peter Obi is not a bill that you people should be discussing. Start discussing electoral law amendment. That's what you should be doing by now. Start doing laws that will improve education, laws that will improve health sector, laws that will checkmate corruption. That's what you should be doing. You are doing oversight, and look at what is happening in NNPC. Look at what is happening there. The money for the refinery is stolen, and there is a committee on petroleum in Senate and in Reps. What were they doing that they didn't dictate this thing? You people can't do oversight. It's all about sharing, sending email to their boxes. That's what we do. So I don't understand. You guys should sit down and do your job and allow people to breathe. Allow people to breathe. If you people are doing your proper oversight, how will these people steal the money for the refinery, $2.96 billion? How will they steal it? How will one man have 80 billion in his account? You people don't do oversight. That's how bad the situation is. So it's unfortunate that we are where we are today. When people speak truth to power, they say they are demarketing Nigeria. So guys, I don't know what your views might be concerning what Peter Obi said and what Godswill said. However it is, let's hear from you in the comment section so that we'll be able to continue to debate on what's going on, among these politicians. And I think basically most of them don't have the interest of the country at heart. They don't care about the common people. So what they care is themselves and how to retain power and consolidate on power for years. That's what they care about. So don't be deceived with whatever they are saying. But however it is, let's hear from you, and I appreciate hearing from you. And don't forget to share this video. Share it and share it and share it. Let people understand what's going on. So guys, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so that when my next video drops, you'll be among those to be notified. All right? And like and share this video and comment and comment and comment. And then I'll see you in my next video. All right? Do have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching. I'm signing out. See ya.